My guest is Shelly West and Tess West.
Well, that's not really her name.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I'm giving Tess a stage name. Tess is your daughter.
Right.
And she's how old now?
She'll be 4 in April.
She's Tess Frizzell.
Right.
And her birthday is when?
April 27th.
When is your birthday?
May 23rd.
So you were born about a month apart, weren't you?
Yeah.
Vital statistics. Since we've been, prior to this interview, we were talking about your daddy and your mother and how tall they are. How tall are you?
Well, I'm 5'8", I think.
And then with heels?
About 6 feet.
And then with heels and your hair piled up high, you're tall. You can be a tall girl.
Could be a Harlem Globetrotter.
Life on the road. Who does your hair? Do you take a hairdresser?
No, I always do my own hair.
How about your makeup?
Do my own.
Do you take Tess with you?
Mm-hmm.
Does she have a nanny?
No.
You look after her yourself?
Uh-huh.
She a pretty good roadie?
She's real good.
Does she understand at her age, which is almost 4, does she understand the rigors of show business somewhat?
I think so. I think she can sense if I'm starting to get uptight, if I'm getting ready. If I'm running a little late or something, she can sense. I think she knows it's the pressure from trying to get ready to get on stage and that type of thing. And she travels real well, though, and adjusts to it, and she knows the whole ordeal, the whole
Does
routine.
she know your routine?
Mm-hmm.
I assume you do some of the same things no matter where you play.
Right.
So what time do you arrive at the auditorium before show? Let's say the show is at 7:30.
Okay. We try to be there no later than noon, and the guys.
You mean in town, no later than noon?
Right, in town.
I'm talking about over at the auditorium.
Oh, well, what we do is the guys will have sound check, and I'll go sometimes. I don't always go to sound check, but they set up and run through, make sure the system's right. Go back to the motel, and then we always leave an hour before showtime, and if it's quite a distance from where we're staying, we'll leave a little, give ourselves a little more time than that. But usually, if the show is at 7:30, we'd leave at 6:30, and that gives us plenty of time to tune and dress and all that kind of thing.
Do you play guitar?
A little bit. I've gotten real brave here in the last couple of months. I mean, I don't play any lead guitar, but I wanted to add some acoustic in our show because just a straight, some acoustic rhythm will really fill in a lot of holes that a piano or a lead guitar can't fill. I used to play it, but I wouldn't plug it in. So, I've taken a step up. Now I get plugged in and get volume.
Do you want to, do you do this just for the fun of it, just so you can accompany yourself, or do you really want people to hear you play the guitar?
Oh, I do. I think there's a need for it in the band. And if I think I can do it, if I think I can do it right, then I hope it's heard, so I'll turn up. And, as long as it doesn't have too many complicated chords, I can hang in there.
You're going to record with your mother?
Yes, I am. We met with Warner Brothers head Jim Ed Norman, and, he seemed real enthusiastic about the idea of us making some records together. I don't know if it'll be singles or turn into an album. It just depends on how much we can, in looking for songs and everything, how much we can come up with, because we want to do it right. It's got to be good, or else you don't want to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I imagine if we can get into it and actually do 10 songs, then I imagine it'll be an album.
Yeah, and if you get a hit out of this thing, it would add another dimension to your career. You and your mother could do some shows together.
That'd be a good thing to plan. Go ahead and do a little promotional tour on it or something. I don't know. We haven't even thought of it.
Do you sing well together, in your opinion?
I think so. I think our voices are very compatible. I think we blend well. I was her harmony singer for about a year and a half.
When you were in her show.
Right.
Then when you played bass?
No, I didn't play bass then. Just sang.
Well, you were a background singer.
Right. And I always thought, I don't know, it's just being mother and daughter, we sound somewhat alike, and I think we sing somewhere around in the same ranges. So I think it'd be real easy to record together.
She would be your second singing partner.
Right.
So you certainly are familiar with making records with other people, both of you.
She's had a lot of. You're right. She's had some great duet partners.
When you and David Frizzell recorded together, did you record on the same microphone, or were you apart?
I guess people imagine it that way because that seems like it'd be real sweet, you know, singing on the same mic. But we didn't. Matter of fact, we on the verses, you know, David would go and do his part, and I'm in the control room, and then vice versa, you know. But on the bridges, there were times on the bridges when I'd go in and we'd sing together, but on two different microphones. But I don't ever recall singing on the same mic.
Will there be any more records with David Frizzell?
Well, I don't foresee any, at least in the near future. We've had some changes come along. I guess that's inevitable, such as record labels and management and that type of thing. So, you know, it does make it more difficult.
Are you on different record labels?
Yes.
You are at Warner Brothers?
Warner Brothers.
And he is?
America.
Okay. Of course, people cross label lines all the time and make records.
That's true.
Well, I assume both of you have chosen to go your separate ways to build your solo careers.
I think we did, and you have to be careful. I mean, you're trying to establish one thing, and then if I think you can confuse people very easily if we continue to just put out records. For one thing, it's too many records to throw at the DJs at once.
You mean a single by him, a single by you, and a duet?
Exactly.
Hard to get all that played, isn't it?
I don't think it's fair to the radio people.
Did you feel like that by being a member of a duo year after year that you were inhibiting your career, your identity?
Well, I never had a chance to feel like that because I was just I felt real fortunate that we had the duets to sing, and I had never, you know, I didn't have a solo career taken away from me or anything, you know. So I had never experienced being out on my own, and I was very glad to have the help.
Well, I know, but I assume you used the duets as with David Frizzell as a stepping stone to your solo career.
I guess we did. I mean, I don't think we ever planned it that way, but that's what it turned out to be, and I think it was great for both of us.
I think in all of show business, everybody wants to find an avenue to become a star. Mm-hmm. And to be recognized is somewhat difficult if you are sharing the billing or in the shadow of somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess Dave and I singing together and making duets we never felt shadowed because we had already learned to overcome anything like that from having famous relatives in country music also, you know, with Lefty and Dottie. I think we had both learned by that time to have confidence in ourselves, and and then it just made it twice as much fun to sing together.
Since you have not sat with me at a radio microphone for a long time, let's catch up a little bit. One time you were married to Alan Frizzell,
right,
and that didn't work out, unfortunately. And you've recently remarried, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Tell me about that.
Very happy. It's been 7 or 8 months now. I'm married to Gary Hood, and Gary's in television production. He does Hee Haw and some of the award shows that you see. And
but what does he do?
I don't know how to describe what he does. He is normally a stage manager.
Well, all right.
And he's independent. He's kind of freelance.
Well, being on television, I know what a stage manager is.
You would know.
He's a very important man.
That's right.
He is, as a performer, he is my contact to the director back in the booth. Right. The stage manager tells everybody what, you know what you're going to do, but he tells you when you're going to do it, mm-hmm, and how much time you have and that sort of thing.
It's a key position.
How'd you meet your husband?
Well, I guess it was probably.
Let me guess. You did Hee Haw.
Right. Thank you, Sam Lavello, the producer. Yeah, I guess we had done it several times, and I'd always thought he was, very good looking and everything, but I guess I thought more so after I became single. And, I chased him till he caught me, as Jack says over here.
Who made the overture?
I did. I just...
What did you say? Hey, you're kind of cute.
Well, I called him. I got his number and made sure he wasn't married or anything. Gave him a call, got his codophone, left a message, and so then he calls me back and gets my codophone. And we went on like this for about 3 months.
Your codophone talked to his codophone for a long time?
Yes.
Oh, the two Codaphones got married?
Husband and wife, his and hers.
In today's society, that's very acceptable, isn't it? You know, when I was a kid,
Right.
only boys called girls.
Well, I tell you, that's the only way I could ever get a date. And that I think by the time I was turned into a teenager was the time that girls started doing this. Like you had the Sadie Hawkins dance where the girls were supposed to ask the guys, and that's when I had my first date. And from then on, it was, I don't know, just a lot of shy fellas out there.
My old friend Shelly West, or one of my young friends, Shelly West. Thank you, Shelly.